Topic for today is designating special days to acknowledge certain people, issues or causes serves little purpose. Our judges for today are Ms. Banerjee, Mr. Senik and Mrs. Kunal. The order in which the houses will be speaking is Allen, Condon, Foy and Pal. I would like to remind the speakers that they will be given 4 minutes to express their views. After 3 minutes, a bell will be rung, and after the 4th minute, the second bell will be rung. After a speaker has concluded his or her debate, members of the other teams are permitted to ask 2 questions each. 2 questions in total. So if they do not so within 30 seconds, the speaker will be awarded full marks. So I do urge all the participants today to ask as many questions as they can. Without further ado, I shall now call upon the first speaker of Allen House, Bhavya Bhatia
With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to start my debate. Karl Marx once said, "The production of too many useful things results in too many useless people." In my mind, this quote could be applied to the countless special days that the world is bombarded with today. Having too many of them defeats the very purpose behind them. Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson, members of the jury, my worthy opponents and the House at large. Allow me to share some facts with you. Crimes against women in India rose by over 63% in 2021, but we did celebrate International Women's Day. We observed Labour Day in 2020, but shut our eyes to the plight of countless labourers who walked miles to reach home during the lockdown. The world observed Elder Abuse Day last year, as it will this year. Yet, 1 in 6 people above the age of 60 experienced some form of abuse in 2021. What purpose then did observing these days serve? I urge you to ask yourselves in all honesty, what purpose do days like World Emoji Day, Fruitcake Toss Day and Backwards Day even have? There's a limit to how many days we can assign for ridiculous things like these. Mindlessly designating and glorifying certain days for meaningless objects and even food items is not only a waste of our time, but an example of how foolish we can be. Having days for inanimate objects and connecting them to a cause is absolutely pointless. Equally pointless are the days designated for real and very important issues that have a huge impact on the future of our planet and its people. For example, Zero Discrimination Day. How can a mere 24 hours designated to spreading awareness or celebrating our progress in resolving these human rights issues magically make them disappear? We simply post about them on multiple social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, and the next day we end up forgetting about them as if they never affected people's lives. Every single day we see articles, newspaper headlines and news reports about a woman being abused, an innocent man of color being discriminated against, and so many more violations against human rights, but we still want to place our faith in these special days. Another point I would like to raise is that these special days can damage a person's self-esteem. Those who do not receive Valentine's Day cards or friendship bands on Friendship Day are made to feel inadequate. How do you think those children feel who are asked to make Mother's Day or Father's Day cards in school who do not have a mother or father? We claim that we want to honor the people that play vital roles in almost everyone's lives through special days. But shouldn't we be doing that as much as we can? Every day? Is there really a valid reason for doing so only on a certain day? Do we really need a Mother's Day or a Father's Day to tell our parents how much they mean to us? In my opinion, it is more of an insult than a compliment to have only a single day to honor these significant people. This not only applies to days designated for people, but also to major causes. There are days like Remembrance Day to remember those who lost their lives during the Second World War and International Day for the preservation of the ozone layer. But once again, only a single day. Why can't we remember those who lost their lives throughout the year or be kind to our planet every day? Is there really a valid reason for doing so only on a certain day? In conclusion, I would like to state that if we acknowledge people, causes and events on one day of the year, but treat them with complete disregard and indifference for the remaining 364 days of the year, then we really should think twice before granting a special status to any more days. Thank you.
Questions for her?
Madam Speaker, you mentioned in your debate that you feel these days are useless, but don't you think that if we don't designate any day to some great dignitary, people will forget their contribution?
Thank you for your question, Madam Interjector. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer it. In my opinion, we shouldn't have to be reminded about these special days to actually try to solve them. With the feeling of wanting to solve a problem or wanting to appreciate a certain person should come from within. Isn't that really our fault that we aren't remembering every single day and we have to be reminded every day? We have to be reminded on these certain days to solve these problems? Thank you.
Madam Speaker, you said that we only think about the cause for 24 hours, but those 24 hours are used to spread awareness. Please comment.
Thank you for your question. These days don't really spread awareness. We post about them on multiple social media platforms. We make posters, we hold marches, but don't you think the ones who are seeing all these things are the ones who don't even need to solve these problems anymore? What about those in rural areas who face these problems on a daily basis, who are not being paid their dues, who are facing discrimination and are living in damaged environments? What about them? Do you really think they even know about these days? Thank you.
I would now call upon Aryan Sahu of Allen House going against the motion.
With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to start my debate. Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson, members of the jury, my worthy opponents, and the House at large. As I stand at the lectern today, I cannot stop wondering that how many of us are aware of what bipolar disorder is. I wasn't until I learned that today is World Bipolar Day. Bipolar disorder is associated with a series of mood swings ranging from depressive lows to insane highs. You might be wondering where I'm going with this. I'll tell you. The point I am trying to make is that the United Nations has it pegged right when it states that observing special days promotes awareness on important political, social, cultural, and human rights issues. We all know that we gained independence in 1947. Why then do we celebrate Independence Day every year? We all know that genocide is wrong, that racism is wrong, that hatred is wrong. Why then do we have International Holocaust Remembrance Day? It is because unfortunately public memory is short and people do need to be reminded that our freedom came at a very heavy price. The blood of countless patriots and freedom fighters. How can we forget that over 6 million Jewish people were ruthlessly murdered just because of a mistaken belief in Aryan supremacy? We all read about George Floyd in 2020 and how he was murdered by a white police officer. We clicked our tongues and shook our heads in shock and disbelief. But then we conveniently forgot about it and moved on with our daily lives. That is exactly why we need days like the International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination to remind us to treat everyone with dignity and respect. Creating awareness is the first step towards bringing about any change in the world. And that is what special days do. Special days remind us of the precious resources we take for granted must be used responsibly. World Water Day reminds us about the scarcity of drinkable water on Earth is an example in point. Special days promote the importance of physical and spiritual well-being. The International Day of Yoga that was proposed by our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi educated the whole world about the innumerable health benefits of yoga. World Health Day reminds us that we cannot be healthy without keeping our planet healthy. World Autism Day reminds us to treat autistic people with understanding. World Dyslexic Day reminds teachers and educators to be patient when teaching dyslexic children how to read and write. The International Day of Sign Languages encourages us to communicate with those who cannot hear. We learn to respect and care for the vulnerable sections of society like the girl child, elders and migrant laborers. Days like Mother's Day, Father's Day and Grandparents' Day remind us the importance of the family ties. On a lighter note, some silly days like Make Up Your Mind Day or give us a laugh on hearing of them. And some days help adults reconnect with their inner child. Like in the USA, there is a Bring Your Teddy to Work Day. Bring Your Child to Work Day helps children to understand what their parents do for a living. Special days remind us to be more socially responsible, more humane and more connected with the world and with one another. They remind us that issues like race, gender, caste, age, food, water, health, housing, education, self-respect and dignity are universal issues. And as part of one big human family, we must do our bit to ensure that they get the attention they do deserve. Is that really such a bad thing? I leave it to the jury to decide. Thank you.
Questions? Connie.
Mr. Speaker, you mentioned in your debate about the day known as the International Day of Racial Discrimination. Don't you think, rather than just designating a day to remind people about it, we should teach people about this topic? Please comment.
Actually, thank you for your question, Mr. Interjector. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer this question. Actually, these days which remind us about the racial discrimination, they're actually a way to remind the people of these issues. Because these issues are known by the masses, but they are not getting time or any being reminded about these issues. So by these special days, they are reminded to treat these issues with respect. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, UK suffers a loss of $3 billion on a national holiday, which are designated for these issues and people. So what are your thoughts on that?
Please could you repeat your question?
UK suffers a loss of $3 billion on a national holiday, which are designated for these issues and people. So what are your thoughts on that?
Thank you for your question, Madam Interjector. So basically, if UK suffers a loss of $3 billion, it is actually a mishappening and it doesn't happen with everyone. So if we see this issue, so it is not an issue because it was actually the fault of UK, because actually remembering these days, you need to keep some points in mind about how to create awareness about them and how to think about them. So UK must have taken it in a wrong way, and that is why they are suffering right now.
Thank you, Arun. I now call upon Gurjeet Singh Khurana of Condon House going for the motion.
Second of February, World Wetlands Day. 13th of February, World Radio Day. 21st of February, International Mother Language Day. And on the 2nd of March, Zero Discrimination Day. All of the dates I just mentioned are special days recognized by the United Nations. Data source, the UN official website. However, how many of us knew that these days even existed? I would imagine that none of us did. I myself had to Google these days for the debate. Why do such special days exist when most of the world's population does not even know about them? That is my question, ladies and gentlemen. To remember our special people, address our special issues and causes. Let's do better than just marking a date in the calendar on the wall. We are taught good values in school. Are these values taught to be practiced once in a year? Surely not. Like all good things, we need to commemorate and respect our worthy individuals and causes every single day. We are answerable to the world. We are answerable to Mother Nature every single day. We need to be reminded of the issues more frequently. Consequently, this could lead to a more proactive approach to solve our ever so pending social causes, if only solutions could be attained by marking a date in the calendar on the wall. How often do we mix problems? For example, the coming 4th of April is going to be celebrated as the World Mining Day. The biggest problem with mining remains illegal mining. It comes with safety hazards, a mafia making loads of money, corruption, and loss of substantial tax revenue. It is a law and order problem. A corrective action can and should be taken by the enforcement agencies. The 21st of March, International Day of Trees, hasn't been able to stop the felling of trees. On this 24th of March, our school published the second issue of Meetera. Page 5 of the publication mentions a very interesting fact. That is, 27,000 trees are cut down every single day. If only solutions could be attained by marking a day in the calendar on the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, we need concrete steps to address the main purpose behind the so-called designated special days. This is the real world, people, and we have real issues around us. Let's not just get together to hold placards on the street. We need to have better solutions. Solutions, number 1, focus more on implementation of law and order to cut down on the ills of our society. Create awareness to raise alarm for anything wrong around us happening at any time, at any day. Number 2, organize drives at the micro and the macro levels to focus on the issues around us. For example, the 10th of February is celebrated as the World Pulses Day. Do our farmers know about it? Rather, let's get to the fields and educate them about the agricultural developments. Number 3, modernize our education system to inculcate a more profound system for the political and social issues that surround us. For a few of the so-called designated special days, let's have a designated curriculum. Number 4, let's appreciate our celebrities coming forward to address the main causes that are happening in our day-to-day lives. For example, Sadhguru, our famous Indian yoga guru and proponent of spirituality, has set out for a 30,000 kilometer ride to campaign for conservation of soil. Friends, to end on a lighter note, how many of us have seen the Sanjay Dutt starrer Lage Raho Munna Bhai? I would imagine that a 3-hour long movie has taught us more Gandhian values than by just sitting in our homes and enjoying a holiday on the 2nd of October. That says it all. Thank you.
Questions? Animals?
We celebrate Independence Day in India every year. This helps children build nationalism from a young age and they carry it forward. What are your views on this? Please comment.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Interjector. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer the question. Independence Day is celebrated in India for various reasons. However, each and every time we celebrate this day, it is not just the only reason to understand what the meaning of patriotism is. We need our students and the society to understand that we don't need a designated special day to celebrate something or to remember about something. We need to remember these things throughout the year. Thank you.
Powerhouse?
Mr. Speaker, you mentioned in your debate that there are many days to acknowledge people, but most of the world does not know about it. Don't you think that's the main purpose for them to understand and educate them about the topic?
Thank you for your question. Regarding these dates, any special person that we are celebrating a day for would be for some or the other reason. However, why don't we celebrate that person throughout the year and not just on that specific day? If most of the people don't know about them, we need to add those things in our curriculums so that we understand the importance of those people. We need to do this throughout the year and not just on a special day. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurulak. I I request the audience members to wake up and sit up. Everyone at the back. I would now like to call upon Sheen Yunus of Condon House going against the motion.
Quote, no dream is too small or too big. Make your mark on this earth. Unquote. Chloe Thompson. Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson, honorable judges, and my worthy opponents. Today, I firmly stand here to present my views against the topic. I would like to ask a question to all. Why is it important to celebrate these special dates? I'll give you reasons why. Firstly, I would like to start by why have we designated days or dates for certain people, issues or causes? It is to educate the general public on issues of concern, to mobilize political will and resources, to address global problems, and to celebrate and reinforce achievements of humanity who were martyred on the 14th of February. Do their lives serve no purpose? Martyrs' Day, National Science Day, International Labour's Day, World Leprosy Day, World Environment Day, etc. are known because we are educated. We have studied about these days because they are important. It is important for us to know the history, the culture, and most importantly, why and because of whom are these days celebrated. These days are celebrated to remember and honor the achievements of the people who have left their mark here on this earth, which justifies the quote that I used in the beginning of my debate. When we commemorate a special occasion, we are essentially placing a mental bookmark on an experience, thereby making it easier to remember it in the future. The photos, videos, and other forms of memorabilia from those occasions serve as triggers that we can use to relive those pleasant experiences. It is important to celebrate milestones and major accomplishments. Celebrating gives us a sense of achievement and motivates us to do even better in the future. Why is celebrating underrated? Some people seem to celebrate anything at the drop of a hat, but these people really just want an excuse to party. They are not celebrating anything in particular. To truly celebrate, you have to have a reason. And what is a better reason than these marked days? It benefits us all. Some spend time with their families, some spend time with themselves, and it's best for us students because we have holidays. So aren't these special dates and occasions benefiting us all in some way or the other? In conclusion, I would like to say that designating days to commemorate certain events is an extremely vital step towards the betterment and the development of humanity, as it spreads awareness amongst the people and promotes the cause of celebration. Thank you.
Questions? Yes, Paul.
Madam Speaker, don't you think that planting a tree every week is better than just planting one tree a day, that also just for the sake of a social media post?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Interjector. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer. Planting a tree every single week instead of just a day is Can you please repeat your question?
I said this in the context of World Environment Day. Don't you think it's better that we celebrate, don't you think planting a tree every week is better than just planting one tree a day, that also just for the sake of the social media post?
World Environment Day is being celebrated so that it can spread awareness, so that people can plant a tree every week instead of just one day, so that they can recognize the cause of it.
In your debate, you said that we honor freedom fighters on Independence Day, but we honor our flag also, but on the next day we throw the flags in the dustbin, most of the people, and they are lying on the ground. So do you think that we should just honor our flags on Independence Day and not every day?
Thank you for your question. We are celebrating Independence Day to honor the freedom fighters, and to honor our flag, and to celebrate our independence. The people who are, whatever they are doing the next day, it is not. Can you please simplify your question?
I want to say that we respect our flags on Independence Day, but most of the people on the next day they throw them and do not honor them.
Would you like me to rephrase the question? So, after Independence Day is over, because there are a lot of flags that we use, the next day you'll find them on the streets or thrown around somewhere. So, he's asking you, don't you think that that is a disrespect to the flag?
On Independence Day, we're trying to honor the people and the flag so that we can spread awareness. So these things do not happen the next day.
I now call upon Achitya Bansal of Foy House going for the motion.
Quote, do not declare holiday on my death. Instead, work an extra day if you love me. Unquote. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Good afternoon to the House at large. Today, I stand here supporting the motion which has been put before this August gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, let us first understand what exactly certain people have done which merits a holiday. Let me tell you, it's not something insignificant for which a day is celebrated. Not at all. It is due to the monumental contributions or to create awareness about a certain topic. For instance, we have got World Environment Day, we have got World Wildlife Day, Ambedkar Jayanti and Gandhi Jayanti. However, ladies and gentlemen, the problem which arises over here is that once we acknowledge something for a day alone, the overall impact of the same is reduced. Let us take environment into consideration. Why should we give only one day to the environment when environment is something which has to be taken care of day in and day out? Why should we just celebrate Women's Day on 8th of March when women take a part in our life every single day and night? Now, ladies and gentlemen, one more point which I would like to make, that today Mother's Day and Father's Day is just trivial and laughable for the simple reason that our parents deserve to be celebrated every single day. Similarly, for any historically significant personality, it is not necessary to name a specific day. What is necessary is that we follow their ideas, is that we follow what they have taught us. Now, coming to the basic argumentation. Firstly, the problem in India or in any other country for that matter is that people don't really care if they get what they want. In this case, people don't care what holiday it is if it is a holiday. This is for the same reason that if today I ask you all to name all the holidays which you get in a year, most of you will only be able to name 7, while we are having 7 holidays in the month of the April. Now coming to one more point. Therefore, the purpose of giving a holiday is completely destructed for the last point. And one more thing which I would like to quote, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing which we need to do in this case is continued awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, 24 hours a day, actually in realistic terms, not even 24 hours, will help in the 6,660 hours a year. What can help is continued awareness. Another point which I would like to make to the jury is that the fact designating certain dates to certain people doesn't help, even for the noble causes like World Autism Day. Ladies and gentlemen, once this World Autism Day is passed and maybe that week is passed, autism people will be targeted. And that is not the way we want the society to function. That is not the way we want people to go. That is why we must understand, to help anyone, we have to bring
consistent awareness. To bring an intrinsic change, we have to bring consistent awareness. Small contributions in a short time will not make a difference, but small contributions in a long period of time will make a difference. Thus, to conclude, I would like to rest my case with the words of Albert Schweitzer, who rightly said, the purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, how can you say that we require continued awareness when we can teach people about the specific thing on that specific day?
Thank you for your question, Madam Interjector. I said we need continued awareness because we need to bring that thing in people's mind. If you study physics today, if you study momentum today, if you don't revise it tomorrow, you will forget it. That is why you need a revision. Similarly, in this case also, you need a revision. You need to know what exactly certain dignitaries have done for our nation. You need to know problems which we are facing just now. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, in our school, Founders Day is celebrated. It educates the children about the founders and the past of the school. Don't you think celebrating this day has a huge purpose behind it? Please comment.
Thank you for your question, Mr. Interjector. Actually, Founders Day is not necessary that much. What is necessary is that we follow the ideas of our founders, is that we follow what they have taught us, is that we follow what they are planning and what is their vision towards the school, not the Founders Day celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Achinta. I now call upon Samriddhi Singh of Foy House going against the motion.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson, members of the floor, honorable judges, and my worthy opponents. Today, I stand here vehemently opposing the motion which has been put before this august gathering. Today, we have been told by the proposition a number of times that it won't matter if we designate a specific date to a specific issue or a person of historical significance. Now, it is physically impossible to continuously follow something over a sustained period of time. It is impossible, and I say this with utmost objectivity, for the simple reason that we all have lives which do not revolve around a single idea or ideal. Now, coming to basic argumentation. First of all, we need to understand that under no circumstances can we belittle the importance of awareness. It is due to the fact that days like World Environment Day and World Water Scarcity Day exist that we even know about several issues. When we talk about an issue, whether social or environmental, it is not just that day alone. These days have events associated with them, which in turn improve awareness, which in turn help influence people's mindsets. Now, on these days, we have people coming to speak on various issues, and a single speech can change a person's mindset. It can change a person's life, and that is precisely why we have certain dates assigned to people of historical significance and issues. It is something which we have to be reminded of every single year, because even if it is an issue of importance, it is not so ingrained. It is something about which the due amount of awareness needs to be raised. And for that to happen, we have to designate a date. As we can't designate an hour and say this is water scarcity hour and this is world environment hour. We can't do that. It is best that we assign a date, which makes it the easiest way to spread awareness without exhausting people, and that is precisely why we have dates put aside. For instance, just because one institution chooses not to celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti does not mean another will do the same. Celebrating Ambedkar Jayanti will acknowledge the fact that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made a significant difference in the lives of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and minorities. The proposition is trying to mislead the House by belittling the fact that the date of India's independence is one which is always engraved in our minds and hearts. We do not need to be reminded of it throughout the year. But it is a date which needs to be remembered, and it deserves to have events constructed around it. And that is precisely why today I, as a member of the opposition, believe that the motion falls. With that, I rest my case. Thank you.
Questions? Condon House.
Don't you think that celebrating these special days is a hypocrisy? Please comment.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Interjector. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer. No, I do not think that. These days have been designated to increase awareness, which is the need of the hour. It is not at all about hypocrisy. We need awareness. We need to remember what these people have done for our country, and we need to remember issues. Thank you.
Allen House.
In your debate, you said we have to remind people of a certain issue every year, but statistics prove that despite having these days every year, they are not getting solved. What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you for the question, Madam Interjector. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer. As they say, one step at a time. Things do take time, and one day the statistics will say the other thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Samriddhi. I would like to call upon Aaron Thomas of Pal House going for the motion.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Esteemed judges, honorable teachers, respected chairperson, my dear fellow contenders and the audience. I believe that it is very important to acknowledge the contribution of certain people who have devoted their lives to bring a difference in the society. Similarly, there are various issues which affect the social, economical and political growth or development. There are several causes which need to be addressed by us. If I talk about certain people like mothers, fathers and teachers, they play a very important role in our daily lives. They contribute so much for our upbringing and development. However, just for the sake of recognition, a day has been designated like Mother's Day, Father's Day and Teacher's Day. On these days, everybody treats them specially, but on most of the other days, they are not given the same respect, honor and love. Instead of expressing our feelings to them regularly, we have made it just a one-day formality. And I believe that my opponents will agree with me for the above thought I've mentioned. In the same way, issues like global warming, which have emerged due to pollution, deforestation, industrialization, heavy use of plastic, etc. All these are results of irresponsible behavior of human beings. Earth Day being celebrated on 22nd April every year has become very casual. The level of all the issues I mentioned above is so high that I cannot imagine how these issues can be tackled by just being serious for one day. I strongly believe that unless we imbibe thinking critically about all the matters and make it a habit to take serious steps every moment, we will not be able to see a major improvement. I would like to ask my worthy opponents, how many of you know when days like International Literacy Day and World Mental Health Day are celebrated? This proves my point, to which my opponents will also agree, that designating special days serves little purpose, as the majority is not curious about the occurrence of these days, and they hold no significance in their lives. UNESCO has designated 8 September as International Literacy Day, which focuses on improving the literacy rate across the globe. and it is an important initiative. However, if I talk about our nation or underdeveloped nations, there are still majority of people who do not have access to good quality education, which is deeply affecting the global growth and making a harsh impact on social, economical, and political mindset. In conclusion, I would like to reinforce the above thoughts that I have mentioned, that instead of designated days, a culture should be built to keep reminding the importance and hard work and commitment of certain people. Issues we are surrounded by to be addressed critically, and cause we need to take care of in our daily lives. Otherwise, these designated days will be mere social media show-off without reaching to the depth. And because of these reasons, designated days serve little purpose. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, what about the illiterate section of our society who do not know about the contributions of certain people?
Please can you repeat the question?
What about the illiterate section of our society who do not know about the contributions of these people, and maybe when these days are designated, they will be aware?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Interjector. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer my question. I think that these days really give awareness to spread the education and the literacy rate across the globe, but this needs please can you give
Would you like me to rephrase the question? What she means is there are so many people in the world that are illiterate, so don't you think that designating these days will make them aware about the contributions made by several people in the society?
I think it will make them aware, but this should not be just for one day, and it should be taken, these steps should be taken every day. And yeah.
How can you say that these days have become a one-day formality? Because on these days, it is our duty to remember the values and take them forward. Please comment.
Thank you for the question. I would like to answer the question. I can say that these days, people respect their teachers, mothers and fathers, mostly on the designated days which have been designated for them. But there are several people who do not really care about the teachers, and
Thank you, Alan. I request everyone in the audience to sit up and wake up. Children at the back. I now request Naomi Ross of Pal House going against the motion.
19th May, a Gender Pride Day. 8th March, International Women's Day. 18th December, International Migrants Day. Even when the world turns their backs on them, there is a day when people feel like they belong, when they feel equal, when they feel acknowledged, when they feel appreciated, and when they know the world is theirs too. Good afternoon, respected adjudicators, Madam Chairperson, my opponents, and the House at large. Today I, Naomi of Pal House, am going to present my views against the topic, designating special days to acknowledge certain people, issues or causes serves little purpose. Acknowledgement is defined as the recognition of the importance or quality of someone or something. International and national days are occasions to educate the nation and especially students on issues of concern, to talk about global problems and to celebrate the achievements of humanity. There are many people who have been given an entire day to acknowledge and celebrate them, and of course for a reason, because each one of them has done something to motivate and inspire the world. And there are still many out there role model worthy yet to be acknowledged. Acknowledging someone can make them feel more motivated and positive, which makes it more likely that they'll repeat their moral behavior. World Braille Day is an international day which marks the birthday of Braille creator Louis Braille on the 4th of March. This day recognizes and celebrates the awareness of the importance of Braille as a means of communication for blind and visually impaired people. In my opinion, because visually impaired people would not be able to communicate without the help of Braille, it is absolutely fair to have a special day to acknowledge and celebrate Louis Braille. Today, the 30th of March, is National Doctors' Day. Now, if it weren't for doctors, none of us would be here. They have helped to improve the health and hygiene of our country and our world. And it is important to have a special day to acknowledge them. We often overlook the profound power of small gestures, but sometimes it's the small things that create meaningful changes. And one such gesture is a simple act of acknowledgement. We celebrate Nelson Mandela Day every year on the 18th of July to shine light on the legacy of the man who changed the 20th century and helped shape the 21st. This is a moment for all to renew with the values that inspire Nelson Mandela. Acknowledging and celebrating such people who have helped us will not and will never serve a small purpose. It is a big deal and we should celebrate them. Make it a priority to understand. Make it a priority to learn from their achievements. As citizens of this world, make it a priority to acknowledge the people because they deserve it, because they have helped. Designating special days for the people who have done so much for the world is a sign of respect and honor for their hard work and bravery. And don't tell me you don't love those little holidays we get every month. If you take some time to think about it, an individual has done a lot for the country. They have helped to educate, develop, upgrade, enhance and improve the welfare of our society. For example, people who work in the military, the army, the air force, the navy, teachers, doctors, parents and many more. For me, these people are and will always be heroes. And one day in a year is still not enough to acknowledge them. Make a choice to prioritize a gesture of acknowledgement. To take a moment of your lives to recognize impactful work. To really see the quality and importance of our people's efforts. Thank you.
Questions? Animals?
Shouldn't we acknowledge doctors every day? Because like you said, without them we wouldn't be here. And having only a single day a year is disrespectful.
Thank you for your question. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer. The nation has designated a special day to acknowledge doctors, and that teaches the students and everybody else in the world that about the importance of doctors, which makes them able to take that purpose forward and celebrate them in the future as well.
Madam Speaker, don't you think it's better that we celebrate and respect our parents every day instead of Mother's Day and Father's Day because they deserve it?
Thank you for your question. With the permission of the chairperson, I would like to answer. Our parents are, of course, very essential to us for obvious reasons, and for the entire nation. There are some people who don't even have parents, but the importance of parents and other teachers, doctors, there has been a single day where the entire world has to and needs to acknowledge them. So I think one day in the entire world, and of course people learn from that day and move on to obviously respecting them in the future.
Thank you, Naomi. I now invite members of the audience to come up here and express their views on the motion today. Oral going against the motion.
I truly think that special days are important in the year because we have to respect the history of the people the days are designated to. We have to respect them because they have done so much for our country, not mentioning Independence Day. Independence Day is wonderful because it is a pride to our country. We celebrate one day. It is when we got free. So it's very, very important to have days, and it makes a very happy environment also. If we have no holidays on the days, we won't be able to enjoy and actually memorize those days. And in the act of awareness, let's say we post on Instagram and Facebook and every social app that today is Women's Day, today is Independence Day, but what we all do is we give a like and we don't take action to it. Quote, APJ Abdul Kalam said, dream, dream, dream. Dreams will turn into thought, thought will turn into action, and action will lead to work, work will lead to success. So basically what I'm trying to say is, let's take action also, not just hear it.
Thank you all.
Sanvi for the motion. Do we really need Mother's Day or Father's Day just to describe our love for our parents? These days are just named, but there's nothing more to it. Every day there's some kind of discrimination or some kind of shame to their skin or body. Even if there are any days in this year, people will still not care but go on with the shames or discrimination on any day. Some people do not even remember any special days. Thank you. Sarah for the motion. Don't you guys think that we should, for example, let's take the mental health day. Do we really need to just take one day from the entire year just to celebrate? No, actually spread awareness just for mental health. Don't you think that we should prove our points to how much we should care about somebody's well-being and mental health? And let's take Teachers' Day for an example. Do we really have to pick out a specific day from the entire year just to show respect to our teachers? Don't you think we should show respect to our teachers, parents and everybody every single day? I will leave that thought with you guys, that should we really have specific days just to describe our respect and love for worthy people like them? Thank you.
Good afternoon everyone. I feel that these days people only celebrate certain days like World Environment Day and Women's Day just to brag on social media or just for the sake of posting it on social media platforms. Thank you.
Having days for specific causes does not solve any of these problems. It just proves how much thought we are putting in designating these days.
Good afternoon, everyone. Designating special days to people to acknowledge certain people, issues or causes serves very little purpose. I, Pratham Rao, am going against this motion. And designating special days to people actually serves a purpose, which reminds us of the great things which some people have done. For example, Gandhi Jayanti is celebrated so that we remember the achievements of Mahatma Gandhi he made in the independence of our country. World Environment Day is celebrated so that we can care for the environment and learn about the cause of it, the polluting causes of it, so that we don't pollute the environment on other days and not only on the World Environment Day. Thank you.
Against the motion. Good afternoon, everyone. I don't think we need special days for any person or to remember what he has done, because we should learn from him and implement in our lives every day. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think that people should designate special days to like some events and all, because they are like designated for a reason. They might be important, so I don't think so. We really need to like give specific dates and names to the events. We should remember them on our own. Like now, planting a seed on just Environment Day won't help if we don't take care of it and water it every day. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to give an example of Teachers' Day. Why should we designate only one day to celebrate our Teachers' Day, when our teachers deserves to be celebrated each and every day? Thus, designation is useless.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think that assigning a specific day to a person of historical significance is important because it gives respect to the people who have done so much and even died for our country.
Designating and celebrating special days such as Gandhi Jayanti, Independence Day, Republic Day, Parakram Divas, Shahid Divas, etc. creates a sense of understanding and realization among us about the contributions, the days, the events, and the great people whom we have started to forget these days. On these special days, various NGOs and schools organize some special programs which brief us about their contributions and the struggle for us. And by this, we get to know about the struggle, and also we learn a lot from them, and we gain knowledge to think out of the box so that we can be beneficial for our society. Thank you.
I feel like we should celebrate these special days every day, not only on one specific day. Thank you.
I really think that there should not be a particular day assigned for a particular person, because why can't we respect women every day instead of just respecting them on a particular day? Thank you.
I think that we do need some days to specify a specific day for us because we tend to be forgetful sometimes because we do not always remember all the holidays and special days in a year, and the real reason why many people really want to remember them is to acknowledge and or post about it on social media platforms. And I think that we really also need to remember some holidays even without the reason of a specific reminder, because some people might remember Christmas because it has humongous holidays or something, but I don't think we only need the reason for holidays to remember something. I think there should be the reason of why they did something specific for us, and I think we should all respect that. Thank you.
I think we should wish them because then they feel proud. Like it's Father's Day, if you wish your father, he'll feel proud that yes, I'm a father, he's wishing me. I think that's right, and you should always go with it. Good afternoon, everybody present in this auditorium. I'm neither for the motion, neither against the motion. Yes, we do need special days to remind for some special contribution to this world. Although we don't need to waste the resources also. Like in Diwali, it's also a special day, but we do celebrate it with the firecrackers, which also leads to air pollution. Plus, laborers do die in the factory due to blasts and etc. So, and Diwali is like in Hindi mythology, it says it's only about lights. So why don't we take a diya and just light it up and put it in our house? And special days are just about wishing them. Why do we have to celebrate them? Why, with the firecrackers, with all the sound made from the drums? Thank you.
God bless everyone with special talent, but it doesn't mean we start making days for them and we celebrate Mother's Day to make our mother special, but we can make our mother special throughout the year. Thank you.
I think that we should appreciate more of these days than just considering it a holiday. Thank you. I don't think that we should celebrate only one day to honor special people. Rather, it should be throughout the year. Thank you.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I would just like to say that assigning special days for specific people or issues is just not right. We should celebrate them every day and cherish them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think that we don't need these special days to be celebrated just for a day. There is no need to celebrate these days just to show off on yourself on social media. We just need to give respect and love which should come from within. Thank you.
if we go on celebrating all the special days, it would lead to the children of our society to realize social and political issues in much a better way. Thank you.
I believe special days like Women's Day, Teachers' Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day are celebrated to make that particular person feel special. It's just like a birthday. We all know for a fact we were born in this world. So we celebrate that our birthdays to make ourselves feel special. Another thing I would like to say is that awareness is already spread, and these days are celebrated to highlight that awareness. Thank you.
Good morning, audience. I attend for the motion. It is necessary to have important days like 26 January, Republic Day. On Republic Day, our first rule was written, and for the people do not know when the important days are, and when the people write on the social media, on Instagram, then the people recognize or remember the important days. Thank you.
So good afternoon everyone. I think that these days are not to celebrate but to remember that the importance of these days and the meaning those who have forgotten. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We actually do not need these days because it's actually disrespectful. All the days should be equal. Just like people celebrate Mother's and Father's Day, we only love them and make them feel special on that day only. We should love and make them feel special every day. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank all the members of the audience who came up on stage today. It was so many of you today, and it was very pleasant to see a lot of you have a lot of opinions. I would like to thank the judges for today, Mr. Banerjee, Miss Banerjee, Mr. Sering and Mrs. Pundir. I would like to thank Mr. Pant for all the time and trouble he took to make the Excel sheets work, Mr. Craig Tyndale, Shashwat, Tejas and Lakshya in the control room, all the hall room monitors and Akash Bhaiya for setting up the stage for today's debate. Coming back to the results, the individual positions are as follows. In third position we have Gurirat Khurana of Condon House. In second position we have Naomi Ross of Pal House. And in first position we have Bhavya Bhatia of Allen House. The house positions are as follows. In fourth place we have Condon House. In third place we have Pal House. In second place we have Foy House. And in first place we have Allen House.